You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Odie, Maury, Sody, Maury,
Maury, Sody, Maury, Sody.
black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh,
Yes, Mo?
are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
Wah 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 wah.
Okay.
You don't know where that's from?
No, I'm blanking on it. Where's that from?
It's from Busta Rhymes.
Oh, that's the yeah.
Yeah,
You said
yeah,
wah.
yeah. I wasn't really saying words as much as I was doing the melody.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then he
I
went
hear
into
it
the
now.
whole.
I hear it now.
You know,
You just mixed two different.
I did. I don't care. They're all his songs, but they're all his songs.
They
And
are all his
if you think
songs,
about it,
okay.
majority his songs have basically
Have
the
like
same,
the same sort of setup.
Exactly, but they're all great. Yes. So
Fair enough.
hi, I'm Odie,
And I'm Maurice.
and you're listening to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
We're back with another one of these. This is gonna be a fun episode, I could tell.
It is, but we have to
I mean,
start
we're gonna-
off with
we're gonna
some
have our
not
moments.
some yeah.
Yeah,
there are
that's
some
what I
not
mean.
some fun things happening.
Of course, there's gonna be some not some fun stuff that we're gonna discuss.
But you wanna know what?
I just like the energy that we're already bringing
We already
to
have
the
it.
episode.
And duality. Life
Yes.
life is a bunch of ups and downs, and it's just about recognizing when you gotta like jump.
Yeah.
Because you jump on the
Yes.
waves, when you're in a pool, when you're in the beach,
Okay.
and the wave comes, you jump with the wave,
Yes.
so it doesn't come crashing over you.
Yes. I didn't know that this was a water analogy.
As I said jump, I recognized that could possibly be interpreted in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's why I tried to make sure to jump into
you.
the water.
Thank you
So
for
that
elaborating.
I could elaborate, and you didn't think I meant jump in another way, because
Yeah.
you just mean you jump with the waves.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So that you jump with them, and sometimes it's like a little bit uncomfortable. It's a little weird. It's like because you're out of control.
yeah.
But eventually you come right back down,
Yes.
and it's great. So
yeah.
but first, before we get into the episode, as we said, there are some not so good moments, and we have to say R.I.P. to first Virgil Abloh.
Mm-hmm.
He died on Sunday at only 41 years old. He had, unfortunately, had cancer, a very rare cancer. And he was, kept it to himself. It was his business. He didn't need to tell anyone.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Unfortunately, he lost his battle against it, and as always, fuck cancer.
Yeah.
And we're just thankful for him. He had a lot of duality about him.
Yeah.
He broke a lot of barriers.
Mm-hmm.
He caused a lot of controversy in many different ways in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
And in his life, he did a lot of great things. He was really a pioneer in fashion, and I feel that we're definitely going to we've lost his creativity and what he brought, not only just to fashion but to also music, and the way that he was able to meld those two together. He worked on some music covers for certain albums.
Yeah.
Which I only recently found out that after he passed. But just the fact that he was the first Black person to have to run a huge line for Louis Vuitton is huge.
Within the fashion world, his star burnt very bright.
And just the fact that his star burnt so bright that means that nobody could ever tell a black person in that industry, oh, are you sure you can do that? Because no, I am sure.
Look at that example right over there.
And Virgil is, yes, he was himself, unique, special, extraordinary person, as we all are, but he was doing what any creative person is doing. He was melding all the things of his life and what he grew up with and what he saw, and he was using that vision to create different things, and creating a space for, different type of style that he saw growing up, which is still, some people will look down at streetwear, as they call it, or urban wear, as if it's not couture, oh, you can't wear, sweatpants to dinner, but that doesn't mean that this style is not a style and not an art form, and like the way that people in our communities across the country, the way that black people in certain areas and certain socioeconomic levels, the way we dress, how we speak, it may not exactly look the same, but there are overlap and similarities. So it's beautiful for those things to be see them supported and magnified for the world stage, and it being done by a black person.
Yes.
Versus, Gucci just putting something out and you're like, well, those colors are not even for the Jamaican flag. Or, like those things. So very sad to hear that. And we're sending all of our love to his family and his friends. And in some really sad news, which was actually, both his death was definitely shocking, but Jacqueline Avant, the wife of, she was a philanthropist. Mm-hmm. She was a mother. She was a wife of Clarence Avant. He was in the music industry. Yeah. Still, he had the Netflix documentary, The Black Godfather. And if you haven't watched it, I really, really push you to, because it definitely showed how someone can, not regardless of whether you come from nothing or not, that someone can amass a lot of power and wealth and use that to do good. Yes. And I think sometimes we get so cynical when we watch, we see how certain people get to these certain heights, and we think, well, they're no longer going to be a kind person or a nice person, and they don't want to do anything for other people, which for some people is true, but there are still people who can get wealthy and powerful, and because maybe what they've seen and experienced in life, they are looking forward to helping others make it. And he definitely did that. I mean, the late Bill Withers. Yes. He started his musical career when he was like around our age or even later, and it was in his 30s. Yeah. Which even now in the music industry is uncommon. Usually, if you're not in your teens or your late 20s or your early 20s.
Early 20s, I would say.
Yeah, like if you're past 25, people are like, I don't know, it's a little late, you're a little old.
Risky.
And it's like, wait, but how? Like that person, how are you old when you're, 30 years old or 32 or even 40?
You have to be young enough in the music industry to like grow up in the industry or whatever like that.
And so there's a lot of
molded by it and whatever.
Ageism then and now. But Bill Withers got a contract due to him, and not only did he bring a contract, he also basically set him up to grow his generational wealth. Mm-hmm. He did it for so many. I mean, there's so many other iconic people that you see who are constantly giving back to the community. Every time you see their name in the headline, it's always something positive. Even if there's someone that like you don't really know what they do, but you are always hearing about them and seeing them. Mm-hmm. There's like from watching that Black Godfather movie, you saw how he and his wife were standing behind these people and propelling them, and we can't discount the work that his wife did alongside with him to help him get this business to where it is, because we already know. If you watch the documentary, you see how their kind of life at the height of their popularity in the I believe it was the 70s or the 80s, their whole life crashed, and he had lost all these businesses. She was standing beside him as he created those businesses. She stood by him as they fell, and she helped him build it back up. So, I mean, it's just really sad. She was 81 years old. She was shot by an intruder in LA where they lived. I think they were in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills. She was shot unfortunately died from her injuries. They did catch the person who shot her. Unfortunately, it was a young black man who he was robbing someone else's home and then shot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, like, what was going on, if he was high or something. Like, something was going on for him to, I feel like, to commit those crimes so close to each other. But unfortunately, there have been a lot of people who he had, I think, also recently been out on parole.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, like, there are people who are out on parole for violent crimes, and they end up doing more violent crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just really sad that she was collateral damage in something that was so unnecessary, because it's like, at this point, you're 81, you should just be living your life in peace and harmony, and just, it's to have if you're a parent, like, I pray all the time that, like, my parents are here until they're 100,
Mm-hmm.
and if I can't imagine your parents you're blessed enough to have your parents and they're in their 80s and they're healthy, and someone, comes and takes them away. So I'm just so much love out to that family, because that's just heartbreaking. They were married for 50 plus years, maybe 60 years. And Essence, more than 50 years together. Essence did a really lovely, like, photo story of them, from, like, the beginning of their marriage to now. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
So just setting that whole family and everyone that knew her, she was definitely a very strong, wise, powerful woman who was doing a lot for her community, and not just for Black people, for people around the country and around the world. So
yeah, rest in power.
Yes. So as we now that we've kind of given some honor to those who have passed this week, do you want to get into the pop culture?
Yes, I do.
This must be.
All right. So where would you like to start?
Let's see. Did
What?
Did you watch the Versus?
So okay. I did not watch the Versus, like, entirely. I basically, like, I was busy when it was happening, because this was Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was unfortunately I was preoccupied with some stuff that I'm going to talk about later on, and the things that are making me happy. So I didn't get a chance to see it, although I saw a clip.
Okay. A clip.
So tell me about the Versus. Tell me, did you
I
watch
watched
it?
the whole thing from
Yeah.
beginning to end,
Yeah.
and it was definitely interesting because, I mean, it was Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia. I thought that was a very interesting choice. I personally wouldn't have picked those two to go together, but
surprised that they matched with each other at all.
I mean, the thing is, Bone Thugs and Harmony are very LA, even though they're from Ohio. Are they from Ohio? I'm looking it up right now. I feel like they are.
But I know that they're quintessential California sound.
Yes.
Yeah, especially quintessential from, like, the 90s.
Exactly, because you think of Bone Thugs and Harmony, you think of Tupac.
You think of that, like, weird musical instrument that was in, like, all of the fucking songs.
Which
like,
musical instrument? Like a harp? I don't know what melody you're trying.
That's from 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr.
Oh, okay. I feel
It's
like that
synth.
was more
It's
like
like a
synth. That was
yeah.
like a okay. Yeah, they were formed in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, that's interesting that they were formed in Cleveland, Ohio, but they seem so Cali.
They represent...
And Cali
I feel like
loves
they
them.
represent Cali.
They
like,
represent Cali hard.
Like,
And
it's
so
not
now
even a
this is even more interesting. If Bone Thugs and Harmony are from Ohio, even if they rep Cali, and if 3-6 Mafia are from Memphis. Why didn't they have this in the? Why did they have it in L.A. and not in like a Midwest?
Yeah, you would think that they would find like
They
somewhere...
could have done Detroit.
Somewhere in the middle or somewhere else.
I feel like Detroit is a good middle. I mean, Michigan is probably a little closer to Ohio.
What it is? You know why they had in Cali?
Why?
Here, because let's be real. Like 3-6 Mafia have like more. Would you say they have more? Not current, but they had more hits
recently.
Relatively recently.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, like I think if
that are within memory. Whereas in California, of course, everybody in California is gonna remember.
I feel like Bone Thugs and Harmony are
shit.
such an iconic group that people remember them regardless. Like they are kind of like, to me, the way the Locks are, where they had so many hits that you sometimes forget what hits they were actually on.
Yeah.
So I feel like they could have gone with any pretty much, like, to me now the Locks and the Locks and
you think Locks and Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Bone Thugs and Harmony could have gone head to head.
I could see that. I could see
because they're both around
energy.
the same time.
Ooh, that's
no, well, okay, no, because you want to know why?
We can get to that.
Because the energy on the stage was already a lot.
Because we've seen enough of Jadakiss in all these verses that he's been in. And, like, he talks.
We saw him in Queens.
We love to see him talk shit. Every New York verses has been like motherfuckers talking shit,
and I don't think that would have worked.
Oh no!
This versus,
I think it would have worked a little too well.
Okay, so if you didn't see the verses, there was a little scuffle. You know, we know how you boys like to tussle.
Oh wow! Okay, us boys.
So if you didn't know, I think it was Busy Bone. He said that the people from 3-6 Mafia were mocking him during his performance. I was watching this. I did not see him being mocked.
Right.
So I don't know if they
saw
did.
Like just general dancing.
I wasn't even really paying attention. All I know is I see Busy threw something at the other side. I thought he threw his mic at or a bottle at Gangster Girl, I think is her name. Gangster Boo. I thought it was her, but when I watched it again, I just saw him just throw it. Because I saw it when he threw it, she started like cursing him out. But then after, I saw that he threw it at Juicy J.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Juicy J was the one who told him to SMD.
He did. So then they started fighting. It's a little tussle. I think the other Bone says...
The other Bone!
Because I never remember all their names. I used to remember them when I was little.
Crazy.
Let me look at them.
Yeah, actually, let's look it up. I'm this close to naming fucking 7 Dwarf fucking with bones and shit. I was like, there's no way there's one that's Sleepy Bone.
It could be. That would not be bad. The way they smoke. I'm surprised.
But I'm banking on Busy and Crazy.
All right.
With a K, for sure.
There's Busy Bone, Wishbone, Lazy Bone, Crazy Bone, KRAZIE. So, and Flesh and Bone.
I did not know there was that many. Wait.
Where's Flesh and Bone? And is he still apart? I need to find.
I need to see a
pictures of them.
And I mean this with all the respect in the world as possible, because like they seem like they throw hands.
It's the thuggish rugged bone.
Clearly they throw hands.
Yeah, of course. I saw something on Twitter that was saying that at one of the like Source Awards, Busy Bone had to dip out early because the FBI were coming. Something crazy and ridiculous.
I
but
could actually believe
one
that.
thing that I would kind of felt, I was like, there's two things that went wrong in this fight. One, him trying to fight, but two, Gangsta Boo talking about, oh, he needs to take his meds. Meds is not a
somebody did say that.
That is not
take his pills.
Insult. A lot of us take meds for multiple reasons.
Same right here.
And you would not, regardless if you're having some sort of moment, even if you took your pills in that moment, that wouldn't do shit because you probably need a little bit of time to let it release.
Yes.
So calm down. But I felt, but one thing about the verses, it did show a lot of growth. Mm-hmm. He came out there, he apologized.
He did do that.
He hugged everyone, and he said, I apologize, let's keep this going. And that is what being an adult is about, and that is growth.
Yeah.
Because he could have just been fuck off everybody and been mad and whatever. And whatever was going on with him, who knows? Maybe he was having an anxiety attack. If he was being mocked, who knows what he's been dealing with. We already know that he has had in the past mental health issues. Mm-hmm. So it's like, not saying that it excuses any behavior, because that definitely doesn't. But let's be fair and also like hold him accountable because you need to get your shit together. Yeah. But also like let's not be assholes.
Yeah, I was just happy to see that grown black men just like being like amicable. You know what I mean? Like taking responsibility and just being like, look, I'm not trying to fuck this up. I had a moment, but I'm sorry. Let's keep moving. Let's have some fun. You know? That's a beautiful thing to see growth within like grown ass men. You know what I mean?
But you know what's annoying? They have a lot of these articles are like, there was a fight with Bone Thugs and Harmony and da da da, but they don't say Busy Bone apologizes after fight. Like that to me is the better headline. Busy Bone apologizes after having fight at Versus.
Fight breaks out and then but then reconciliation immediately.
Exactly.
After.
You know, so that people can like know, you know what? They may have had a little slip up, but they grew from it. They, they're adults. They got past it. But either way, they had a lot of shit went down on this Versus.
Really?
Terrence Howard came out. Lil Wayne was there.
Yeah, I heard
Lil Jon was there. I was who came out? What's her name?
Am I crazy or I had heard that Chameleonaire.
Yes, Chameleonaire was there, and I was very confused because I don't know if Bone Thugs and Harmony are on Riding Dirty.
No.
He just is.
I feel like he's just super close with. Is he also from Memphis?
He might be from Ohio, maybe. He's from the Midwest.
I know he's from the
All
Midwest.
I know is he's securing every bag, and he has been since that song came out.
We have to allow these guys to get that bag wherever the fuck they can.
Like, because that song is literally all over the place. Every car, like, come on. Can we write a song that's just wildly specific for one type of thing? Like, whether it's pools, beaches, road trips, something. Because we just need to get one good song.
Yeah, that's all we need.
That you can use on a commercial 20 years later, so you can just keep getting the residuals. And then the thing about these songs, they get used on one commercial, and then it's all over the place. Yeah. You cannot not have it because everyone will they'll think about that song, and they'll think about your product, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
So we got to figure that out. We got to figure
out how to make a song.
We're going to do some brainstorming.
Yeah.
The new moon's coming up. We're going to put it out there.
Want me to drop a fat ass beat right now?
Sure. Breakfast is so good. Breakfast coming to your neighborhood. Eat it every morning. Eat it even at night.
Ooh.
Breakfast, breakfast, breakfast. It'll bring your whole family to life. You know I was gonna keep going. You know I was gonna keep going.
Me too. I never wanted that to stop. And now I don't know what it's going to be for, but I have that. That will be a drop, okay? Go ahead and take your fucking shots.
Take your shot.
I don't care. I'm using that for something. For breakfast. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I'll just because I'll be moving soon. Maybe I'll just set that up as like a personal alarm on my phone.
Yes.
For anytime you call,
Yep.
anytime you call, it's like breakfast. The breakfast song.
Yes, there we go. There we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of shenanigans,
It's good.
And singing.
Segue. Yeah.
have you watched Drag Race recently?
Not recently. I feel like I'm like maybe a season or two behind.
Okay, same. Well, this year,
They moved it to Paramount.
yeah, and then I was
I'm
watching it when I was go with my friends to this bar in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, there was this bar that they used to play it at. Well, Branded Saloon.
Oh yeah. So like once the pandemic started, then I wasn't able to meet up with them. I didn't have Paramount. And here we are.
Yeah.
But apparently, they announced the new contestants, and this year for the 14th season, for the first time, they have a cisgendered straight male by the name of Matty Morphosis from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and he's been doing drag since 2017. Now, when you look at them, they look gorgeous. Like they look like they are definitely talented. And they know what they're doing.
They look like seasoned, like they've been at this for a while.
So Maddie said, I think my being on the show can tap into a lot of the guys watching at home, like cisgender straight guys, and really just like projecting to them that gender is completely arbitrary. Just be yourself. Okay. And I don't know if you want to say fortunately or unfortunately, but there has been some pushback. I would say
barring whatever the pushback is, I would say that's not a bad message in and of itself.
Yes. I think that straight men, cisgender men, should definitely be, if you want to dress and drag or whatever, like go the fuck for it. Like,
go off.
Who cares? Technically, if we want to be factual or whatever, I'm technically dressing in drag as a cisgendered woman, walking around in pants, seeing as pants were illegal for women to wear for a very long time. Like me walking around in pants and jeans, and sometimes I like to even wear freaking slacks.
Yeah.
All of those things are dragging it up as a man because I'm not wearing a dress. So really, it's like whatever you want to wear. Sometimes, as you know, as the whole running joke of women always stealing their boyfriends' hoodies and stuff and clothing.
And shit,
I love wearing guys. Like when I was younger, my god brother Chris, the moment he would finish his clothing, I would be in line to take them. Like they were comfortable. First of all, y'all got bigger pockets.
Yes, we do. I gotta love these pockets.
Y'all have bigger pockets. My favorite thing is like a mix. I love wearing boy jeans, a cute little, maybe a crop top together, maybe a hoodie. I don't know what I want to wear, but I want to wear it, and I'm going to do it regardless of what everyone thinks. And I think that a cisgendered man, straight or not, should do that as well. Who the fuck cares what anybody is wearing? The fact that we are arguing or even judging anybody for what they decide to wear is weird. Like, not to say, you know, sometimes I look at people walking down the street and I'll be like, that is an ugly outfit.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you just don't like what somebody has on. That's an ugly outfit. But who cares?
It's more about the outfit itself and the presentation of it than it is about who's wearing what.
Only time, now I won't say if you come up to a christening wearing, a dominatrix outfit, that I'm not going to be in my head thinking like, interesting choice, because that's not the attire and the dress code for this sort of gathering.
Yeah.
But outside of that, who the fuck cares? Wear what you want to wear. Like, nobody tells me what I'm going to wear.
God, the day that I realized that I could wear whatever the fuck I wanted to wear as an adult, like, has been a dream.
Honestly, I went to private school, so I wore what I was told to wear, the same thing from
uniforms.
Kindergarten up until 12th grade.
Same here, all the way through.
And I feel like that I have such an interesting, I guess, eclectic, as my friends would call it, tasting style choices, because I am just trying to figure out what the hell I like to wear, because I never got a chance to when I was younger.
Yeah.
I was wearing what I was being told to wear.
Yeah.
So maybe I like to experiment with colors. Sometimes I like to experiment with different like genres of outfits. Like, it's a very
you brought windbreakers back for me, quite frankly.
I mean, I like them. Those were the things like I liked wearing
like
those.
The minute that I saw you had like multiples of them and you rocked them well, I was like,
well, thank you.
Let me get a windbreaker. I should have one. I should have at least one windbreaker.
But it's just the fact that anybody is trying to police what somebody is wearing is just so stupid.
It's dumb.
It's so dumb. Just shut up. We don't care. Now, so that part is like, boom, great. Now, so the pushback is like, well, why, of all the queer women, where are they? Why are they've never been on the show? There have never been any AFAB performers. And why is he pushing back about why is it a white straight guy versus any other straight guy of any other color, that could have been in the place. So, I mean, I think the criticism is valid. I think him being a part of the show, I think that having that representation is important. Could have been somebody else that is from a more marginalized background. I feel like that it would be nice for that person to be like, the groundbreaker or whatever. But I feel like sometimes you have to say, maybe
next year. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, maybe next year, but just more so like what is more important in this is the message that we just want to make sure that men in general, straight cisgendered men, can see, like, this is not a big deal. Who the fuck cares? So I think that it's like what they're saying is like valid completely, but also I think what the Drag Race is saying of like drag is for everyone, and we're just trying to show that is also white. So it's interesting. There's a lot to unpack. I think that if RuPaul's Drag Race hadn't had a lot of different toxic things that have happened and complaints that have happened throughout the years, then people probably would have not been coming to it from that point. Yeah. Because there was both people who were like criticizing it, and there were people, of course, who were like, whatever, who cares? This is a great thing, and we're all for it. So everyone's gonna have their own different opinion, but I'm curious to see how they do, and and what this means for maybe there'll be more men who are, like, have you watched that show We're Here?
Not yet.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
You're
gonna watch it. You gotta watch it. You're gonna weep every week. Every time is so good.
Isn't there like multiple seasons of it?
It's now there's two seasons.
There's 2 seasons.
It's so good.
I'm saving it.
Just prepare to cry.
Okay.
But I think there have been a few episodes now that I've seen where it's been a straight man. The first one was a straight black man. The second one was a straight white man. And I really liked that, just, them having those moments, but it would be nice to see a straight black man who is doing drag because he wants to do drag because he thinks it looks fun. He likes dressing up and being in character, and he is, not to say you have to be masculine as a man, but saying like sometimes getting those men who are those men who are like hyper masculine and they don't listen to other people besides men. Sometimes that's the way you get them. unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's like that's not the only way to be a real man. But for some men, that's the way they think. And it's like, to me, I'm just trying to get all the men under. I'm trying to get all of them into like one accord from now, and just so hopefully like we have more kids growing up who are recognizing that there's different ways of being men.
Of course.
So yeah, this is it's interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen with it, and how if they're gonna have more, but it is definitely something.
Yeah, it's definitely something. The only reason why I brought that up was because, like, RuPaul's Drag Race isn't going anywhere. Like,
it's not yet.
At this point, like, it's at the point where don't they do it in other countries?
Yeah, they have one in Canada.
Don't they have one in the UK?
They probably have one in Australia by now.
Yeah, it's a franchise at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, this franchise is going to be going until Grey's Anatomy goes off the air, which is also never going to stop. So
I was just watching it today.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe it's just we shall see. We shall see what happens. We'll keep an eye. Between the two of us, somebody has to. Someone has to get Paramount Plus.
I think my mom might have it. I might be able to sign into hers.
Well, I mean, no. I got cable now, and I got internet going, so yeah. Slide that password my way.
Are there any other things that you wanted to talk about, or that you were curious about?
That is everything that I had on my top of head.
Mm-hmm. On your top of head. Okay.
On my top of head.
Uh-huh.
I'm not switching to the
wouldn't want you to.
way to say that.
I would not want you to. Well, then let's take a quick break.
Mm-hmm.
And we will BRB.
BRB with more of you and me. Ridiculous.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
All right.
Raise your glass to freedom.
Something they can never take away, no matter what they tell you.
Here's a round for the four of us. Tomorrow there'll be more of us. Let's have another round tonight.
Let's have another round tonight.
That's it. I'm not
You're not gonna keep going? Okay. I love it. I
had to bring back the Hamilton. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh, wait. Not only have we not done that in a while, but that bums me out that right now I'm waiting for somebody to get back to me with that Disney Plus subscription password information. They know who they are.
It's not me, right?
No, I know it's not.
Okay,
You.
I just wanted to make sure.
It's definitely not you, but the
somebody.
Individual, yes, somebody who I texted 2 times this week. And no response. And I know that is the same number because we're in a separate group chat. So I see those responses. I know you're near your phone, my dude. Anyhow.
Well, I just felt like it was appropriate. 1, because we love Hamilton,
of
and
course.
2, I'm free to do what I want.
Yes.
Any old time.
Damn right.
So I just was feeling like that was in my spirit, and I wanted to share it with the group.
All right. Ooh, I'm glad you shared, for sure. And I'm glad you feel free.
So what are we doing? What's happening? What's going on?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we're going to first start with the mental health check-in. Of course, this is the section where we, as friends, check in with each other to see how our mental health escapades have been going. just to check in with us to see where we at as far as mental health and self-care.
Where you at, homie?
So how are you? How have you been this week? Or not even just this week, since the last time we spoke. There was a whole last holiday that passed.
There was. I will say this was a pretty chaotic time. Both family, work, life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel free. What is that? What is the name of that song?
It's literally called Free. Is it the one that I'm thinking of?
It's the one you're thinking about. I don't
Kids
remember
see
the name
ghosts
of
or
it.
whatever. I feel free.
Oh no, it's the one where he's like, I feel free. And then he keeps saying it like that for a long time, and there's a bunch of other... It's like rap.
Yeah, that's the one I'm singing.
Is it?
I don't feel pain anymore. Guess what, Gabe? I feel free.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That is exactly... That's my mood. That's how I feel. I feel like I've had a lot of ups and downs this last few weeks, last few months, last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot going on, a lot of new things, a lot of great things. And just, I feel like throughout all of it, especially during this panacea,
Mm-hmm.
I have handled it gracefully and I've done my best. And I've taken so many lessons through this year to bring them into 2022. And I'm very excited to do that because if you're not bringing in lessons into the new year, I mean, what was the point? Like, you know, they say that you should learn one thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you probably do, sometimes you might not. But
Yeah.
I think that you should definitely take lessons from the year. Like, what can you do differently? What things do you need to improve upon or change or upgrade or whatever? And I think I definitely did that. And I feel really proud of myself. I feel, honestly, like so stress-free at this moment. I'm really looking forward to what the rest of December and 2022 has to bring.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, you know, we can't say, oh, it's going to be anything is better or different than the year before. Like, we know that we're still in this panacea.
Yes.
We've got a lot going on. The
Yes.
world is still going and doing what it's doing. So it's just like, I'm grateful that each year, even though things have been crazy and weird and like, what the fuck is going on, that I have had both an amazing support system.
Yes.
I include you in one of those in that system.
Woohoo!
Who always check up and want to uplift, and see how I'm doing, and me vice versa. And I feel like that's great that we have that. I have a great system. You know, I feel like whenever I'm in therapy, none of my therapists would have to question, you know, if I have people around me to help me get through, because, you know, I have a lot. And I think that just has been proven through so many times this year, when things have been good or bad or indifferent. So I'm really happy about that. I think overall this has been, I feel great. Yeah, I feel great this week.
That's good to hear. That's all of that is good to hear. I have been mad anxious this week.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a very nerve-wracking week. I have not slept well at all this week. Many sleepless nights with bits and bouts of insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to make a major change in my life.
And that's very overwhelming.
Yeah. For the listeners, I'm moving. That's the major change.
Roll your eyes. It's a big change.
And not just moving, but moving into my own place.
Going for
and
the first time ever.
First time ever.
That is a big change.
Fending for myself, having to talk to supers and
But you're crushing it.
management and everything like that. Nope.
I got it.
You got there. You definitely got there. But yeah, so I this is an entirely new experience. I will be moving in 2 days. Not to necessarily date this podcast, but yeah, I'm moving in 2 days. I'm still not fully packed. I still have to get a bunch of crap sent over.
You're gonna have your apartment for the next month. So it's not even like you're moving, but you're not being forced.
I'm not being forced
So
to
you have a little
rush
bit more time.
Yes, I do have time. I can always come back and get more stuff and transport more stuff. I especially need to come back anyway, just to drop off keys and stuff. But yeah, but you're absolutely right. You're not wrong. But that's just the nature of this past week. I've been nervous. I've had high anxieties even since Thanksgiving. I was in a new Thanksgiving setting. Everything went well. Everything went off without a hitch. There were no issues or anything like that. But the entire time I had like some anxieties, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I didn't. And it's a good thing that everything went as well as it did. But yeah, I still have to admit and address the just like anxiousness that I felt and that I am feeling. But hopefully this will pass soon. Hopefully by this time Sunday afternoon, maybe, I will be fully moved into my apartment. I will have some semblance of straightening it out a little bit to at least some degree. Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but
well, you've got it.
Yeah,
and you just have to take it slow. I mean, you're doing the best you can. You there's a lot of energy happening right now. You had Thanksgiving. You have Christmas coming up. The whole changing of the seasons and the new year, and you've done so many things in the last like 3 months that are completely like different than what you were doing. So I think you should be really proud of yourself because you have been really managing it well. You've been smashing your blue period.
Yes,
each and every time.
Smash through the blue.
And I think this is just like a lot of different energy and a lot of different things happening at once, and it just does create anxiety. So I feel like you will definitely be able to get through this. And I'm so excited for you to fully move into your new place. It's going to be great.
Me too.
New year, new place, new role in your job.
I got my couch coming on Monday.
You got a couch coming. Like, this is about to be awesome. I can't wait to make some spinach dip to come for your housewarming party.
Yes. And I am going to throw like a small little housewarming.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be like maybe 5 or 7 of my closest friends.
5 or 7.
With
the Omari on variant, you still got to be.
Exactly. We're still in a Pagonia right now. So we gotta watch out for who we're letting in and when and why. But yeah, that's how I've been feeling. I feel like you wanted to have a discussion.
I did. So did you? We've talked about Britney Spears on this podcast a bunch of times.
We've shouted her out. We've asked her to be freed, and then she has been freed.
Yes, she as of Thursday, or not Thursday. It's been maybe 2-3 weeks now. And I think it was November 12th. She got her freedom from the conservatorship, which is amazing. But she was on Instagram. She put up this video. And in the caption, she says that she had to do therapy, and she said that it was basically making fun of the therapy, and she was like that she had to do it against her will, and that she would have to go for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, at her own expense, and it would only be fair for me to dedicate my life to skits to the wonderful therapist. So she definitely has been super snarky. Like in the video, she's like, "Hi, so as your therapist today, I'm here to just ask you a few questions. Not here to trouble you. I just want you to be completely relaxed. You just relax. I do the work. I'm here to help you. Key number 1, so relax, totally relax, lay down, do what you have to do. Just a couple of questions. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine." And it goes on like that, but
First off, that was that was great to have to hear. Not have to hear. You know what I mean?
Yes, thank you.
Shout out to you real quick. Because that was an awesome rendition of therapy.
Thank you very much. I'm available for voice acting work if need be.
You better promote yourself, girl.
Always. But I think that it was interesting to think that and kind of troubling to think that she would have to be in therapy for that many hours every day during the week. Like,
I feel like that's part of the monitoring that was going on. Like
that long?
the therapy was not, like the therapy wasn't actually meant to
Help her.
help her.
This is like not One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but did you ever hear about John F. Kennedy's? I want to say it was his sister who was lobotomized by his father.
Yeah, I heard that story. I wasn't sure if that was like a myth or something.
No, it's true. I remember my mother talking to me about that when I was younger. Because they would always talk about the curse on the family, and so she had brought that up, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that you used to be able to lobotomize people.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just like kind of what she's having to go through or had to go through for these last 13 years is just so indicative of how women have been mistreated by the mental health system.
Yeah.
Women and marginalized people, but it's like so many things that you could put a woman to jail for if she masturbates, if she laughs too much, if she gets angry, if she reads
If she
books.
shows any strong emotion,
Anyone.
either way, any of them.
And let's talk about that. Did you see how Ari Lennox was arrested this past week?
Yes.
At the Amsterdam airport?
Yep.
And so I don't know if you ever looked into the report, but they said that she was being arrested because she wouldn't calm down. Ari says that she was racially profiled.
Mm-hmm.
The Amsterdam police were saying it was a woman who wouldn't calm down. They arrested her. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't she calm down? Is my question. Now, we were just watching Ari Lennox when we watched the Soul Train Award videos.
Yeah, but like in my mind, am I wrong for thinking that like it's not a calm thing to have to deal with any police whatsoever? So like stop with this fucking idea that like we're supposed to remain calm. It's an interaction with fucking cops.
Yeah.
That's a heightened situation that would make my heart beat like a million times faster. So like,
well, especially if you're also saying you were racially profiled.
Yeah.
If you're saying, oh, this person did something to me that I felt was negative, and that is why I'm upset right now, and now you're telling me to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. I don't want to calm down.
Why
I
are
want
you
you to
telling me to
handle
calm down?
the thing that you were supposed to handle.
Be somebody's taxpayer. Be somebody's like, that sentence that everybody says about the taxpayers and shit like that. Taxpayer pay for fucking salaries and shit like that.
But I just think
Be
it's
a
very
civil servant.
It's very interesting that she was arrested, and I saw, and I wish I could remember the name. I thought I saved the tweet, but I'm not finding it here. Apparently, there was another black actress or singer who was arrested in Amsterdam airport.
Wasn't that also where Amsterdam's on some shit? Because isn't that also where A$AP Rocky was fucking
Oh my goodness,
arrested?
I think it was. He was there or Sweden.
I feel like it might have been Amsterdam, but
It might have been, honestly.
I feel like Amsterdam has been on some
Maybe it was
shit.
in the 90s. There was a black woman who was arrested, but now, they're never gonna. I'm not gonna be able to find it because everyone's gonna be talking about
Ari Lennox.
Yeah,
So it's okay.
but either way, if I find it, I'll put it in the notes. But it's just like when you think about Ari Lennox, she is a very calm, demeanored. Like when we saw her and Ari Lennox, her and Summer Walker singing at the Soul Train Awards.
Yeah.
If you were to think, if they said Ari Lennox or some more, if they said Summer Walker was doing something in Amsterdam that got her arrested, I would be a little bit more inclined to believe it just because she's always about that life.
Yeah.
Ari Lennox just appears to me, now we don't know her in person, but it appears that she is very mild-mannered.
Yeah. She seems
chill. Like she just wants to smoke, maybe drink some tea with a little bit of bourbon, perhaps, as a nightcap.
Wasn't that Ari Lennox who told J. Cole off in that rap when he came out with that one song about how like, do you know what I'm referring to? Anyhow, even on that song, she was chill.
She's always
the point
chill.
that I'm making. Like even when she's responding in diss track form, she is doing it in such a chill demeanor. Like I'd never have to. Well, first off, I'd never say calm down to anybody, let alone any woman, let alone to Ari Lennox. But yeah, like she doesn't. She seems chill.
Yeah.
She seems like mad chill. The definition of chill, if you looked it up in an encyclopedia.
I'm just, I hope that she's okay. I know that
too.
she has said in the past that she has, like, kind of like social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope this does not add to that. I hope she's okay. We love you, Ari, and we want you to have continued success.
Yes.
And just to feel good. But I think that we think about, I know I got us off track here talking about mental health with Ari Lennox, but
Well, we're
I think that it's
divergent.
also,
It's all good.
I feel like that is a part of all these things happening to like women. Oh, that's what it was. Britney Spears being forced to do this therapy,
Mm-hmm.
Ari Lennox being arrested because her quote-unquote mental state.
Mm-hmm.
It's like always attacking women for just being ourselves and being angry. What is wrong with having emotion?
Yeah.
If I'm angry about something, if I'm not throwing things at you or hitting you or something like that, just let me be emotional. If I'm telling you something and you're not listening to me because you just don't care about what I have to say, I'm probably going to get more emotional. So just take those things into account. It can't always be that women are just these wild banshees, because we're not the ones that have to have other people cover up their bodies on the off chance that we're going to have some sort of quote unquote carnal urge and just can't help ourselves and rip their clothes off. Like that's not we are able to control ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's like this is a fruitless conversation, and I would like women, especially black women, to stop being forced into thinking they're crazy and being monitored every which way to make sure we're adhering to what somebody else wants us for our lives. And I'm just, love you, Brittany, love you, Ari, and we wish you the best.
Yes. Shout out to the both of you, and hope that both of y'all are doing well now.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. You have anything?
I wasn't sure if that was the appropriate
I mean,
noise.
I don't know what else what did you want me to say?
No, nothing. It's all good.
Now that we have checked in with each other, do you want to talk about some things that are kind of rubbing us the wrong way?
You know damn well I want to. You know damn well we have to. That's why we need to go over here into this corner. I don't know if we have a name for it, but
do you need to be in a corner? What's happening?
Anyhow.
Bring it! What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
So who should start first, me or you?
You start.
All right. This technically isn't a. It's a gripe that shouldn't be a gripe, if you know what I mean. Like,
Okay.
I'll explain. You know how if you are trying to get something installed in your home and you have to have like a technician come out to your home, they have like a specific window of time that they're going to come, right? So in this particular instance, they might say, "Hey, we're gonna come between 2:00 and 5:00," right? And that's you should expect sometime between 2 and 5, and more times than not, it's never on the earlier side. You know what I mean?
It's usually
Like,
towards the later end.
It's usually towards the later end. At least that's from my experience, right? I'm supposed to get some internet installed in my place. I won't say the name of the internet place, or the internet provider.
Call them out.
But my window was from 2 to 5. So I'm at my house at 1 o'clock because I was thinking of getting to my new place at 1:30 from my old place.
Mm-hmm.
I get a call at 1 o'clock that's like, hey, are you there? Like, where you at? I'm buzzing you. And I'm over here just like, I thought the window was from like 2 to 5. He's like, yeah. Like, I'm just like, give me 30 minutes. So now instead of hopping on the train like I was gonna, I had to catch a lift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which I was, luckily I was prepared for, like, financially. It's not a issue or anything like that. But like, I had to now rush to get, I don't like rushing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever made that clear on this podcast or I've ever told you.
I mean, you told me.
I hate having to rush because when I rush, I forget things.
Yep.
And I definitely forgot my battery charger, but that's neither here nor there because I have like 5 different battery chargers in my bag at all times. So that's fine. Point being that in this instance, I should be grateful that they came earlier than expected. Yeah. I should be grateful in that regard, right? Mm-hmm. However, if I'm planning my day, at least stay roughly within the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if it's like, if
or
the
just
window
text you if you think you're gonna be earlier.
2 to 5, yeah, send me a message just to say, hey, like, it looks like this is a light day. We'll come through earlier than usual or something like that. Give me a heads up.
Yeah.
Don't just show up and be like, yo, you there? you there? Like, I'm buzzing you. You're not answering the door. Which, as a side note, I'm going to have to talk to my super about because apparently my buzzer to open the door is not working. Anyhow.
Okay. Well, mine doesn't work either. So.
Yeah, I will. But, yeah, just remind me.
No.
Anyhow. In fact, I'll put that into my gripe, too. Super, fix the door. It's literally a new apartment. You should that should fucking work. Anyhow.
Are those all your gripes?
I think. Oh, you know what? So this happened a few weeks ago. I didn't say it at the time. WWE, stop releasing your fucking wrestlers during a fucking pandemic when you're making like the record-making profits during this time period. They've been releasing people all throughout the year, like groups of people, like we're talking like 10, 15 deep when it comes to like wrestlers. And they did it again like a few weeks ago, and one of them was Keith Lee, this really athletic black wrestler named Keith Lee. He has so much charisma. No, he's not the one that you saw.
Okay.
Not that guy. Not either.
I have several boyfriends, though.
I know you have several boyfriends. I don't think you saw him. I don't even think you'd like him. I think maybe you'd like him based on his swag and
What's
based
his
on
name? Keith?
Keith Lee. Like, you might like him based on his charm. I don't think you'd like him based off of his appearance.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I think he's handsome in the face. But yeah, he has a very unique look about him. He is very athletic for his size and build. He wrestles like a light heavyweight instead of a sorry, I just got my text message from my mom, and this is to say, hey, I love you, Mom. Anyhow, they released him. They fired him. That's a no to you? That's a no? Not even in the face? Not even in the face? You're shaking your head no. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I said it might not be your type of cup of tea.
He looks very nice. Like, he's a very nice young man.
A very nice young. He actually might be our age too.
He was born in 84, so he's a few years older.
Okay, fine. He's a few years older. Either way, he's
nice.
Such a talented wrestler, and it's incredible that like they fired him, didn't know what to do with him, didn't book him well. And it's just incredible to me that they had the nerve to do all that.
Oh, he went to an HBCU, went to Texas A&M.
There we go. Look
A&M
at that.
was HBCU, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, no, like when you're making so much fucking money, you can afford to have these fucking talents, but instead you're like trying to cut costs and shit like that. That's just some like pure corporate fucking greed, my dude. Like.
Well, he said in his caption, I just looked it up, and he said, I was going to wait a couple weeks, but it's time to look toward the future Forward march, as I like to say, I'm capable of so much more, and I can't wait to see what it looks like properly, which is kind of thing that's shady.
Yeah, we go.
I have a wide array of talents, of interests and abilities. I also consider myself to be rather open-minded. Here's to a future that, for all intents and purposes, seems limitless. He posted something else, but
Yeah,
I think that's a good.
That's his whole thing. He's limitless. Not limitless. Is it? Bask in his glory. He is. Yeah, he's limitless. That's his whole thing. Yeah. He has so much potential, and I hope that wherever he lands, hopefully in AEW, I hope that industry or that company understands the talent that they have on their hands and utilizes him well.
Me too. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Keith Lee. And also Hit Row. For anybody who's a wrestler nerd or a wrestler snerd, you know exactly who I'm referring to. A group of wrestlers who also got let go. Anyhow, that's everything that's griping me right now. I got nothing.
All right. Well,
I mean, I had stuff, obviously. I have nothing more
thank you
to say.
Well, the first gripe is that Arya decided to go to the bathroom right now, and that was lovely. Thanks, Arya. Thanks so much.
Made me weak. It knocked me off my feet. Something about that smell.
All right, so I'll try to make these things quick. Don't know how. We'll see. Number one, we as America have had another national pastime, a school shooting. This happened in Oxbridge, and I couldn't lie to you and tell you where Oxbridge is. That Michigan, I believe. I'm calling it Oxbridge, Oxford. It's Oxford High School. There was a shooting at the beginning of the week by this 15-year-old named Ethan Crumbly. So he used this gun that his father owned, and it just was like unfortunate. 4 children died.
Why?
Because. Why did you do that while I'm trying to talk about the school?
I'm just over
shooting.
here trying to listen while also breathing. Like, I'm sorry.
My God.
It's a very strong aroma.
Can you just Maurice up?
My bad. Just keep going. Nobody told you to stop. Especially considering what's being discussed right now.
You threw me off.
Look
anyway,
at me.
Fine. It was in Michigan. He's 15 years old. He has been charged with involuntary. He's been charged for the role. His parents have also been charged for the role. Mm-hmm. And his parents are James and Jennifer Crumbly. They have been charged. And I just found out some very interesting things about his parents. One, they're on the run.
Wait, are you kidding me?
Yeah, a few hours after it was announced that they were going to be charged, they went on the run. And I'm like, what kind of shitty ass parents are you?
Yo.
What kind of shitty ass parents? But we'll know what kind of shitty ass parents they are.
White people are terrified of jail.
Because we know that the mother was a Trump supporter, the parents were Trump supporters, and that they were anti-maskers. Mm-hmm. The mother had written this long anti-mask post, blog post that she published November 11th, 2016, entitled "Dear Mr. Trump." And I want to make sure that I find the part where she tells him she'd rather be grabbed by the pee. Aha.
Yeah, you found it?
Yeah, she said she was not offended by Trump's comments about women. That, she thought that we were taken the wrong way. It was terrible and racist. She's terrible and racist and also a terrible mother because look what she did with her son. Like, regardless of whether her son did something terrible.
Yes.
But I just think about what was happening in that home that he was so angry what kind of monster did you create is my question. And I don't think that parents should be automatically held responsible for what their children do. But I think it's so interesting that when white families, when their children are murdering other children, it's so much of a, like, no one talks about the parents. But Mike Brown's mom, Tamir Rice's mom, Breonna Taylor's mom, it's like, what kind of parents are they that they would allow their kids to be put in these different types of situations? When in reality, it's like they were the ones that didn't do anything. They were the ones who were just living their lives, and then someone tried to take them away. Whereas in this child, we don't hear anyone saying what happened to the parents. We are getting people on the news sharing pictures of when he was like 8 years old. And you saw the pictures of him at 8 compared to the pictures of him at now
are
completely different.
Night and day. Ridiculous. Why were they circulating the fucking 8-year-old picture?
Where he looks like an altar boy with his...
No, you know what?
Like...
My dumb ass thought that this 8-year-old was the one who fucking shot up a school and was just like, damn, like, fucking... They come in all I guess they come in all ages, I guess. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. He's a teenager. He is a grown-ass teenager, and I saw his teenage face. Yeah, so I find it ridiculous that his young photo was even circulated.
Because look what picture they used when Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown were killed. Even with Tamir Rice, every one of them was make him look as mean as possible.
Yeah, we always look like, you know what? They give us killable fucking pictures. That's what it is. It's just like, oh yeah, no, let's get the pictures that justify the killings or the murders. And mind you, yet another fucking murderer who actually is alive and in custody, right? Because he's alive, right?
Still alive. He's been arraigned.
Yep.
His parents fled right after his arraignment, which is crazy. Like,
so there we go. Still alive. Definitely murdered.
Shitty
some
parents.
people.
They definitely, like, think about all the shitty white men recently. That Brian Laundrie who killed his girlfriend or fiance.
Yep.
His parents probably had him on the run, and then they found him murdered. He killed himself. It's just like, come on. I'm over these terrible white parents creating these terrible white children who are terrorizing the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and yes, he was bullied. I do not say that he wasn't. I think that those are all problems we need to address in this country. We are allowing people to bully people when they're in school together. We allow people to be bullied at work. Anyone that we deem as undesirable is allowed to be bullied. So that's definitely something we have to fix.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Because you never know how someone's going to respond.
We
talked about that young black boy who had been being bullied by racial things recently. You never know how anyone's going to react.
Yeah, all it takes is one bad day. That's literally
and when you're a
all
child,
it takes.
Even though, yes, like, he at 15, do you know it's wrong to shoot people? Yes. But your frontal cortex is not finished being developed, and the way that you're treated at home plus the way that you're treated in school could definitely impact your thought process of do you go to school with a gun and feel like that's your only way. Like, and now we know he was smart. There was one video I saw, the kids were in the classroom with the door barricaded and locked. He knocked on the door and said, "Oh, it's the marshals. You can come out." And the only reason they didn't open the door was because they had told him, "No, we're not sure about that." And he was like, something, bro, like, "It's fine, bro." And they were like, "Nah." He said, "Bro, red flag," and they ran off. But it's like, someone said something very interesting on Twitter. They may have these active shooter drills in schools, but the people who could be active shooters are still in the class taking it.
Are still in the classroom, so they know exactly what to do
and where to go and all that. So it's like, we need to get to the root issue of why you have these kids coming to school and murdering other kids, whether it's bullying, whether it's their parents are teaching them to be hateful. If it could be literally so many things. If that's their only thing that they feel is their only choice. there was a child a few months ago who I don't know if he brought a gun or if it was a knife to school, but it was a black kid who was being bullied terribly in his school, and he brought the gun or the knife, and I think a student died. So it's like these things are not isolated; they happen all the time. But we need to figure out ways that we're helping our students, and how people are paying attention to how students are being treated by their own families, so that we have less of this happening. But that was what's pissing me off. And of course, I don't know if you've heard about the abortion bans.
Yeah.
Mississippi and Tennessee, of course, there's one in Texas. I just want people who cannot have children, if you can't birth a child, shut the fuck up about what people who can do.
I don't say anything.
What's her name? Amy Barrett or whatever, talking about, well, if you don't want to have a kid, you should just have the baby and give it up for adoption. Like, that is not viable for everyone.
Yeah.
When my mother was pregnant with my baby sister, or with my youngest sister, or with my mama Mara, she had terrible acid reflux. She could barely breathe.
Yeah.
She had to sleep sitting up. Like, she had so many things happening to her body that she felt like she was dying, like, every day.
You're asking somebody to, like, go through so much hardship and then just to
give the baby away. Like, so you're supposed to experience postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Possibly postpartum psychosis. Postpartum blindness.
Yeah.
There's so many postpartum things. They're fucking terrible.
Not to mention I don't want to use the word ravages, but what ends up happening to your body?
I think your body is pretty ravaged.
Yeah.
Because you have all these hormones. One, a baby growing inside of your body, all of your insides are being shifted and moved around.
Shoved around.
There are plenty of people
tap dancing on the bladder
who have had babies and their bodies in the inside have literally never fully recovered.
Yeah.
So maybe now they pee on themselves. And I know people who have babies and it'll be a joke of like, yeah, I pee every time I laugh now a little bit. And they think it's like whatever now, that's just what it is. But like,
that's some serious,
that's
like,
crazy.
That's like your body is now different because of this. Because you gave birth, because you brought a life in you will never be the same.
Never.
Ever.
And so I think that if you cannot experience that, you shouldn't be telling anybody about it. And even if you can experience that, you're not having some other person's baby. Mm-hmm. Who are you to tell someone that they should have a baby barring a, life-threatening disease? Regardless, there are people right now who are in marriages, whether they are toxic or they just are over, or maybe they could possibly be abusive, who are pregnant right now, who know they cannot or will not and don't want to be in that relationship any longer, and they don't want to have any ties to that person, and they're deciding, I want to end this pregnancy, so that they can leave that relationship and be as safe and as healthy as possible. Whether you've had no babies or whether you've had a bunch of babies, you are allowed to make that choice. I'm grateful that I have never had to make that choice, but I think that's something that has always scared me, is that I would want to make that choice and for whatever reason would be stopped from doing it, whether it was money or, not like, I don't know if you've ever seen this show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant.
Yes, I have seen that show.
That show has always been one of my worst nightmares because it's like you can't do anything now once the baby's out. So you either have to make the decision of adoption or you have to make the decision of keeping it. And those are two crazy, hard decisions.
Yeah, that's not something that can be taken lightly in any respect.
So those are never decisions I would want to have to make. So I'm thinking, like, that to me is my worst. Like, if you had to could go about what's your worst fear, that right there. Like, not having, because it's like the money, I could probably ask, like, hey, guys, can everybody give me $200 so that I can go get this procedure done? I feel like I could probably do that and reach out to people. But I don't ever want to be faced with the possibility of not having that access. And I think that knowing about what my mother's generation went through, even though my mom was born in 1959, so by the time she and her friends would have been in the age where they would have been able to like get one they could have. But just thinking of like how many women that were only a few years older than her possibly had to either suffer in terrible relationships or have children they couldn't afford and didn't want, or have to go through some sort of back alley horrible shit, which I mean just the thought of it, it's just like it's terrible. And I feel so horrified for those black women and black men that might be in and non-binary people who might be in the area who get pregnant and now are going to be forced to have the baby whether they want to or not. And in some of these places, they're not even changing. They're not saying, oh, well, you know, if it's a rape or if it's incest or anything like that. Mm-hmm. They don't care. Because at the end of the day, they don't care about the person. They don't care about the fetus or the baby or the child that's going to come after. They just want their agenda, and that's it. And it just makes me sick, and it just makes me want to say aliens, asteroids, comets, Jesus, whomever. Y'all can come take it.
Yeah.
Because I already know I'm not living a life in fucking Handmaid's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not happening for me. You'll have to just it's not. Whatever way that it's not going to happen, not going to happen.
You know, I watched the first episode of that and was like, I can't watch
I couldn't
any
get
of
past
this
the
shit.
second season. I think I got season 2, episode maybe 2. It felt very real, and it felt too real to what's going on right now. So it just was giving me more anxiety. So I had to stop. But I'm just like, I enjoy freedom in every aspect of my life.
Yes.
Regardless of if I ever decide to take up or if I need to take up any of the freedoms that I currently have, I don't care. All I know is I want them. Mm-hmm. And so the bans, even though people are pushing against them, you know, they have to get the Supreme Court and all these different things, and they can stop them possibly. But just the fact that they're even out there, it just makes me sick. And I just want to bolster up every person who is nervous about this and scared, and to know that, like, not to say anyone should try to home remedy themselves, but this is a reminder that our indigenous people across this whole entire world were using birth control and managing pregnancies forever. Pre-colonizers ever setting foot. And this is a variety of areas. You could find them anywhere, everywhere. You could look it up. So on the off chance that somebody takes away birth control too, and other ways of controlling, you know, methods of contraception, there are natural ways you can do that. You can look into them. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so you need to find, you know, a holistic medical practitioner. Mm-hmm. You should do that. They can explain to you what things you should do and all that. But just know that you don't need a pill or a doctor to help you in these things, because people have been doing them. You could probably find an abortion doula who might be able to assist you in a way that's maybe not medically invasive. I don't know. Don't quote me. All I know is you can look it up and you can find people in your area.
Right.
But those are the things that have just been stressing me out and annoying me. And, you know, people's lack of accountability and their, you know, I think people's lack of accountability. I just want people to recognize, be accountable, and when something that you haven't been accountable for hits you in the face, just say, yeah, you know what, I dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
And I understand that I dropped the ball and I'll have to do better for next time. But, you know, that was my bad. I think that definitely is something we have to have more of. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you about the accountability thing. Like, I try to be as accountable as possible. my go-to thing is I never want to be a part of anybody's worst day on purpose.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's just how I move through the world. But it's okay. You know why? Because after all that doom and gloom, we're gonna end on something that's a little bit more positive. We're gonna talk about the things that made us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
Oh man.
That actually that cheers me up every time. I hear
every
it.
fucking time. It's like
I could feel the smile growing on my face as that song is being sung.
I'm like such a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yet every time it just brings out joy in me and I love it.
Yes. Same here.
Oh, okay. What brought you joy this week?
Well, the fact that I am going to be moving in a couple of days. That in and of itself is bringing me joy because that means that like it's a new chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It is gonna be and for all of the anxiety that I have with the move, I am extremely excited about this new path that I'm gonna be carving for myself.
Well, I'm very proud of you for one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for you for two.
Mm-hmm.
And this is great. A great starter place, and also because it's closer to me, so we can hang out faster.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I am literally 2 stops away from you now.
But even if you wanted to walk, and if I wanted to walk, and we're close to the park, we can go for walks in the park, which you know I love doing, but I can only do them either by myself, if in the daytime, or when I'm with Brooklyn, and obviously can't do that all the time. So it would be nice. We can go to the park together. We can go to the tennis courts. We can go to the other baseballs. We can do so many fun things by the park grounds.
You know, King Richard made me want to do tennis.
I know.
I'm not going to, but it made me want to go to tennis courts and just be like, yeah.
We can have a little Lord's moment. You know, I'll
Yes.
put the Lord music on, and we could just try to hit the balls.
Of course.
But yeah, it was fun. Okay, so what else is that all? Is that what's making you happy?
All the things that made me happy, that I got to see my family for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that
that's
did make me
nice.
happy. It was a new experience going upstate. Shout out to y'all for hosting. Y'all know who y'all are. Not that y'all have to remain a mystery, but just
It's okay.
yeah, they know who it is. Yeah, the great host, lovely home.
Mm-hmm.
It was great seeing everybody. I got to hang out with my dad. I got to take him to I don't want to name the bar that's near. Well, I'm moving anyway. The Sackett. I'm about to
Your
move.
old bar?
Yeah, my old favorite bar that I live near. And I got to hang out with him. You know, just bond with him one-on-one. I find that I bond with my dad over drinks pretty well. You know what I mean? We have interesting conversations. We chop it up. We share our actual feelings. We're not. It's not like one of those father-son dynamics where like, oh, we can't ever talk about our feelings. No, we talk about our feelings and shit like
that's
that.
good.
So that's good. So I'm glad, happy, and grateful that I got to bond.
I love all those things.
And you were talking earlier about learning something about yourself for the new year. One of the things I've learned is that I am allowed to rest and take a day or two to myself. I have been, ever since I've been promoted, I've been working nonstop without a day off.
And
Come next year, I will be taking days off.
Yes.
I am training people to take over for me when I'm not around.
We now return to the Black and Snowdy podcast.
We'll keep that in.
Well, that's great. I'm glad of you. Look, boundaries are so important. You need them.
Mm-hmm.
You need them, especially with work. Because if you don't, you know how I feel about that.
I do.
Because it will literally bring you to the point where you're not even at your best because you're so tired and burnt out. And you don't need to be burnt out.
I don't ever want to be burnt out. Okay. But that is everything that's making me happy this week, unless I think of something else. How about you? What's making you happy?
Well, one, seeing my family. I got to see my brother and my sister.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. One last thing. My favorite barbecue place is reopened. So
right.
shout out to Morgan's.
Love you, Morgan's. Glad you got back from that fire.
I have been ordering from there.
We gotta go to the in-person place.
Yes, because I love their ribs, and they are also kind of expensive. So I haven't been doing it every day. But
they have a pretty good, even though it's not real mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, their mac and cheese is pretty good.
Even though it's not baked, I feel like that's one of the better white mac and cheeses I've had.
Yeah.
And they have a good kale salad that I like to take home and cook it warm.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
Put some chicken on it. Yeah.
never would have thought to get kale salad from a barbecue joint.
Yeah, it's be healthy.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to you.
Okay, for me, I will say one, definitely seeing my family for Thanksgiving or not Thanksgiving, for National Day of Mourning / Indigenous
I call
People
it Food Day.
/
Family Food Day.
whatever name we call it. That's not Columbus oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pilgrims. Okay, that also. I was randomly in this ADHD for Black people Twitter Spaces, which was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I loved being able to talk to everyone. I can't wait till that happens again. I am happy that I am going to be starting my fully freelance journey starting 2022. I'm doing it.
I wasn't sure if you were done.
I'm going to be working fully freelance. And this December, I'm taking this time to rethink, revamp, redo all the stuff that I want to do moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out what my next steps are. And I'm really grateful for that and the time to have peace and quiet, XYZ.
Do your business.
And I'm just looking forward to working for myself and really being able to create great things with different clients. So that's really going to be fun. Let's see. What else? I'm thankful for, like I said, all the support that I've gotten for the last year and a half of work that I was doing at my past job. And I didn't realize how much it resonated with people until recently. And yeah, I think that's about it. Was there anything else? Let's see. It was job. I got to see my parents or my dad. I didn't see my mom yet. I got to see my little brother and sister. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I've gotten to sleep this week. Which
Yes,
is
that
honestly
is so good. I feel like, I know I said this at one point off mic, but I feel like you and I switched schedules somehow.
Yeah.
Because I'm now Mr. Insomnia, not sleeping, and you're sleeping all the way through the morning into late morning and shit like that.
It's been delicious.
Boy, oh boy! Doesn't a good nap feel like eating chocolate?
It does.
Yeah.
It's just ooh, this is nice.
This is this is a Three Musketeers bar for
Ugh,
my body.
Not those.
What you wait? No, you don't like
No.
Three Musketeers? Okay,
It tastes
so
weird. Why is it just fluffy nougat?
yeah, it's nougat.
No, I don't
it's
like
fluffiness.
that. It
It's
needs some
chocolate and fluffy.
It needs some sort of peanut or cookie or something.
So you're what? More Twix,
Yeah.
Kit Kat,
Yeah.
Crunch.
I'm not really a Kit Kat person. I'll eat it if it's there. Crunch as well. But, a Snickers, a Twix,
Hershey.
does it have peanuts in it? Or almonds? Or something?
I mean, they do have the ones that. So not the solid bars. So not
Yeah.
solid chocolate.
I like chocolate, but for it to be solid chocolate, it needs to be better than Hershey's.
You want chocolate and then also something else.
Yeah, unless it's like a Milka or some sort of Swiss chocolate that you can stand alone. Most times I need to have something else in
What
there.
about a Toblerone?
I do like Toblerone.
Okay.
But that's also like Swiss, isn't it?
Yes.
It's some Nordic countries.
Yeah.
Milka, Toblerone.
You gave me those gummies earlier, and now all I want is Swedish
More-
fish.
I do like Swedish fish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Like, either Swedish fish or Starburst. Either way, I'm hoping that, no.
You're not going to get
It. Yeah, and I'm not, I'm not getting bodega candy.
Listen, don't sleep on that bodega.
Bodega gum is one thing. Bodega candy is another
I
beast
be getting
entirely.
the bodega candy, that $1.29 for those off-brand. Why are their gummy bears always ashy?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to
Why
fuck
are they
with that
ashy?
candy.
I'm so confused.
It's like whatever the texture is supposed to be, it's off.
Like, why are they, like, all the candy is ashy. It never looks like it is of this era. So I'm very confused, and I just want to know why. I just haven't got an answer. But okay, well, hey, guess what?
That's it.
We finished another week.
We did it. We did another one of these. You know, I always enjoy doing these with you, right?
And I always enjoy doing these with you.
Okay, I was about to break out another beatbox and see if another song was, but we don't have the time for that, and that's okay. Thank you all for listening, and we will be back with another one next time.
Adios, muchachos, and
Take it
muchachas,
easy.
and muchachas.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye-bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.